Hi, I am Osman, a master level telepathic energy healer specializing in critical care recovery and terminal illnesses, and also a host of other physiological, psychological, and spiritual ailments. I'm also an advanced level yoga and meditation teacher. Be sure to visit my website yogawellness786.com for more information on my services. Also understand our therapies are all natural based and not a replacement for medical treatment. Can yoga increase your lifespan? So from a scientific perspective, we'll say we don't know, right? Because there needs to be vast amounts of scientific research done before you come to the conclusion that it can increase, and the research needs to be an epidemiological research which would normally take 20 to 30 years and across a global scale, and there has to be sufficient funding to carry out such a study. And I don't know if there's going to be people who wants to fund that type of study. It's not that easy to find investors in this type of fields, right? But from a yogic sciences perspective, we have an assertion that yes, yoga practice, there's certain parts of the yoga practice that is specifically designed to increase lifespan. So yoga is a holistic practice. It has many aspects to it. It's got the hatha yoga postures, it's got the meditation components, it's got the dietary components, it's got mudras, it's got bandhas, it's got kriyas, right? There's a lot of things involved in surrounding it. You need to have a holistic practice to experience a wholesome improvement in your physiology, psychology, and spirituality, right? But just to address that one question on longevity, there is one practice that's specifically designed to increase your lifespan theoretically, right? Theoretically, according to the theory of these ancient sciences. So those that practice it, generally they are generally not short-lived, generally. Those that I know are involved in this practice, attained, longer lives. But I also know, because I'm teaching for 44 years, practicing for almost 50 years, I've come across people dying prematurely, right? In their 50s, in the mid to late 50s, right? Many people. And there are some people that died in the 40s, masters of yoga, right? So whether they practice the breath work, and that is of course the secret, right? The breath work, the correct way, I don't know, right? Whether they practiced it on a daily basis, certain number of rounds and so forth. So yes, the breath work, specifically Annum Vinalum, right? The alternative nostril breathing with retention. This is an advanced level practice that you should not adopt independently without a qualified teacher to get you initialized and guiding you along the way, because it is a very dangerous practice as well, right? But you can go towards something which is safer, which is going to bring you closer to that. That is Nadi Shodhana, the alternative nostril breathing, right? You practice it daily, 21 rounds of that daily. It will improve your lung capacity and improve the rate at which you are breathing, because everyone breathes at a certain rate, X number of breaths per minute, right? So if you, for example, taking 12 breaths a minute or 15 breaths a minute or whatever, right? So slowly it will decrease. Let's say you are 20 breaths a minute, right? And it will decrease as time progresses, as the years roll on, to around 15 to 12 to 8 breaths a minute, right? And as low as 6. So depending on the number of breaths per minute that you are breathing, there is a yogic calculation estimating what your age should be, at what age you should die, right? So let me bring the one example of someone who's very advanced in yoga that died prematurely as a first example. He is someone who brought yoga to the Western world in the early 1900s, around 1902. I think he came to speak to the United Nations, address the United Nations in London around that year, and from India, Swami Vivekananda. And he died in his early 40s, right? And he taught Advaita philosophy, and also he had amazing skills and powers, mystic powers. He had an amazing photographic memory. He could go through the entire Encyclopedia Britannica, at one go, just glancing at each page, as though taking a photo of each page. And you question him on any volume, any page, he'll give you the precise answer, the page number, the volume, page number, and which paragraph or line number, right? He was able to do it. Maybe I'm exaggerating a bit, I don't know, or the accounts that I heard were exaggerating, but his memory was amazing. But he died in his early, so his teacher, and I read his biography and the biography of his teacher, which is Ramakrishna, right? From the Bengal part of India, northeastern part of India, Calcutta, the Calcutta region. He used to be residing in a temple called the Dakshineshwar temple. And if you visit that place, you can visit and hear, the stories directly from there, from the people there. So Ramakrishna was very advanced, and Swami Vivekananda was his student. And in the early days, while he was a student, Ramakrishna remarked that you will not live very long, right? Because you breathe very heavily, and you breathe, his breathing was very short, and you used to breathe heavily. So there could be some truth towards the number of breaths and the calculation of the lifespan. And he was a young man when that prediction was done by his guru, He just observed his breathing, the pattern of his breathing. So when it comes to my breathing level, so from the calculations that I've done, theoretically I should reach the age of 126, which would be very amazing, if I can reach that. So from a very young age, I wanted to always never be hunched or rigid in my old age. So I've now reached middle life, right? I'm now middle age, I'm 56 years old. And I've got zero back problems or this thing. I'm highly flexible. I'm as flexible as soon as I'm practicing all the yoga postures, right? And I'm not going very much into the advanced levels and twisting and contorting my body. And I could practice it. I've got the capacity to do it, and I have done it before. But I didn't want to engage in those things because I didn't see the benefit and advantage for it, aside from making a circus show. And I wanted to be an example and a mentor to my students, and practice something that is simple and easy, and not too difficult. And of course, it's not easy for everyone to practice all the postures, but attainable by every average person, right? I wanted to do those things. And so one of my teachers was 112 years old, and he used to play football, with the children, with the little children. And he was very flexible. And when he died in his sleep, in his bed, as though out of his own will, and he had no illness, and he was not sick, right? So I wanted to aspire to living life that way, healthy. And yes, I have lost my eyesight, and that was due to some complications during the COVID period, which we've done extensive testing, and the only theory that stands is that possibly I had an allergic reaction. My body was allergic to the COVID vaccine. And so there are some people there, not everyone's body is different, and it doesn't mean that the vaccine is harmful, right? It's just some people can be allergic, because people can be allergic to peanuts. Is peanuts harmful? No. Some people is allergic to peanuts. Some people is allergic to pollen. Some people are allergic to just synthetic fibers, right? It's just, that's the allergy, and maybe I've got that specific, trait in me. So I'm not talking negatively about anything, and it led to, complications, and to a very severe, glaucoma, and eventual loss of my eyesight, despite all medical interventions. So this is some of the things that happen. But in terms of the rest of my health is amazing. So I recently, just a few days ago, applied for a debt cover insurance policy. Debt being DEBT, right? Financial, a business debt, because I've got an investor investing in my business, and he never asked for it, but me voluntarily doing the responsible thing. It is important because one never knows, anything can happen, right? As much as my longevity is 126 years, I have to be responsible. I can die of an accident, I can die of even natural causes, right? We don't know. Maybe I can drop dead from a heart attack, as well get a stroke. Anything can happen, right? But theoretically, and physically I'm feeling well. From that policy, there was a battery of medical questions, at the end of which there was zero loading to my premium. My premium was, and it was surprising even to the consultant. There's not many people that has zero loading when you are in the second last phase of your life from insurance policies perspective, because the second last phase is 56 to 60 and the last phase is above 61, right? So there normally is some problem, arthritis problem or blood pressure problem slightly, some medication, tension, stress level, depression. You must have had some, medication for depression or something, diabetes and heart problems and, so many kinds of possibly also habits, smoking, alcohol, or, so I don't smoke, I don't drink any alcohol, and I exercise, daily. And in addition to my breath work and my yoga plus fitness, body work, simple exercise just to ensure that I'm not atrophying my muscular system. And the sooner you start, the critical age to start that is around the age of 40 years old, right? So in terms of the longevity hack, right, the breath work, alternative nostril breathing is specifically geared towards increasing your lifespan together with a lifestyle and the other aspects. You have to have, be responsible in your diet, and mainly whole foods, plant-based, right? And at times it's very difficult to be whole foods, plant-based, especially when you're traveling and on flights. So I downgrade to vegetarian. And now and then for a treat, you want to enjoy an ice cream. These are dairy products, right? And milkshake, on occasion. So, slip down to vegetarian, but mainly whole foods, plant-based. A lot of fresh fruit and a lot of, raw vegetables on a daily basis, right? I blend them and I consume them. And I believe 80% of your longevity is your diet, including, I'm not telling you become vegan or anything, but include a lot of wholesome raw vegetables like salads and so forth, in your diet, and the cruciferous vegetables are highly nutritious, right? It's like the cabbages and the kale and broccoli and cauliflower, right? And also your leafy greens, your spinach, your chard. Include these, one or other of these raw daily. I include it in my diet together with a handful of flax seeds that are blended together, which I've taken from the Dr. Brooke Goldner protocol. You can visit her website directly to get free information and free guidance on an amazing protocol that I believe is going to be a game changer in the longevity of your life, and that is goodbyelupus.com. And you can also go to our husband's website, smoothieshred.com, to get amazing tips on fat loss programs, as well as other programs for muscle gain. And I've tried the fat loss program, and I've been in the weight loss industry for decades, right? For over 24 years. And I haven't found a more amazing fat loss protocol than smoothieshred.com. You don't have to pay any subscription. You don't have to buy any artificial products from them. Everything you can get from the supermarket, right? From your vegetables, right? You blend your smoothie and you drink it. It'll actually, instead of increasing your budget, it will decrease your expenses. It's going to be cheaper for you, right? And you don't have to go into something so drastic. You can include it slowly and blend into it. And then eventually, if you're really serious about going into it, follow the advice and do some exercise, and especially strength training or resistance training, on a daily basis. And get into the Smoothie Shred website and follow the protocol. It's going to be amazing towards your longevity. So this is, in the ancient yogic scriptures, they recommended usually plant-based foods and wholesome plant-based foods. And this is from 4,500 years ago, when the soil was amazing and there wasn't so much of pesticides, the air was amazing, there wasn't so much of pollution, and there wasn't so many industries, and the ozone layer was amazing, and natural water, fresh natural water was available without any purification chemicals in it and so forth. So now we're living in the 21st century, right? So we now don't have that, but we have Dr. Brooke Goldner, right? From a dietary perspective, we have breath work, right? And we have the yoga postures, which improves the flexibility of your spine. I believe these will go a long way towards a longevity hack. And you are betting and counting on some strategies that millions of people counted on previously, especially from the yoga sciences point of view. But from the Brooke Goldner protocol, a minimum of 4,000 documented cases where she reversed illnesses that were very difficult or almost irreversible, and needed that one extra push, of the protocol that came in to assist the medical field. It's not a replacement for medical science, but to assist the body in recovery, right? So isn't this an amazing longevity hack? So those who are interested in longevity, which should be every person, and surprisingly, I found majority of people are not interested in longevity or maybe lack the discipline. And another hack is to be in tune with people or programs like podcasts and YouTube videos in this field as part of your regular feed that you are entering into and enjoying on a daily basis in your scrolling on your smart devices, right? So majority of people have smart devices and going into YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. So also follow some professionals. Dr. Brooke Goldner has got Instagram as well as Facebook pages that you could join as a starting point. There's a lot of plant-based. There's also yoga channels. I've got a YouTube channel, a yoga YouTube channel, and I've started a LinkedIn profile, but I haven't been focusing a lot on it because I'm focusing more on YouTube. And I didn't want to enter Facebook and Instagram due to some personal preferences against it, because there's so much of scam messages and attacks. Especially if you are a popular figure, you get targeted often and blackmailed and so forth, on the mass market social media channels like Facebook and Instagram. And that's one of the reasons that I stay away from it, right? And but YouTube is amazing. Not many people go to YouTube because most people are going to TikTok. But those who want like longer videos, more informative videos, and so forth, and my videos falls under the category of informative videos, YouTube is a better channel for them, right? So I hope that information helps you, and I wish you a long, healthy, and happy life. Take care always.